Okay, welcome back. I think this will be probably the last one I do for now. So let's open up the SketchUp file, and I've got a layer for Spinner 7, and I'm going to open up my pictures. And of course, I'd like you to design your own spinners, but if you really get stuck for ideas, go online and have a look at some cool spinners. I'm going to grab this guy over here, bring him there, hide that. I'll move him up about there. Okay, I'll try to do this one quickly. So circle, 11 millimeters for the radius of the bearing. Okay, I'm going to go out to 40 for that. I'll tell you what, another way you could do it is just do a line. It's just a guide, so you know, don't make it much bigger than that. 40, enter, and press escape to finish drawing the line. And I'm going to draw a circle up there. Again, I'm going to make this for the bearing. I'm going to make it 11 as well. It's a little bit bigger than 40, but I think that'll be okay. Okay. Well, let's just be sure. Let's be sure by grabbing that, getting the move tool, touching the top edge like that, clicking, tapping Control. So now I've got a copy of the circle. I now touch the top of that. Okay, just like that. So now I know it's exactly the right size and it's exactly 40 away. Okay, at this stage I'm going to start doing some of these little bumps on it. So to do that, I'm going to first find the center of this circle and draw a vertical line. I do that a lot, and I'm going to hide my axes. Okay, actually, let's rub that out completely. Oops, let's leave that one there. I like these little lines because I know I'm going to delete them, but they help me find the exact center of the circle, because the endpoint of the line is at the center of the circle, and the other endpoint is at the exact top. And I need that for this next technique to work. So, I'm going to make these little bumps. So, let's see how we can do that. There's a couple ways. I think what I'll do is just zoom in there, grab my circle tool, and go from here to about there. Or could I go... What would happen if I get my arc tool instead? And I do a 2-point arc from that point to that point, and then go up a certain amount, and then just look at the value that I'm going up. On the bottom right hand side, it's got a radius. And if I go an exact amount, like 3, enter, it's quite a lot. If I go a smaller amount, actually a larger radius makes a smaller, shallower curve. So if I make this go 4, enter, let's do it by eye. So click to there, and go up a bit. And then from here to here, I'm going to go down until it looks like it lines up with that one. So about there. And now what I want to do is I want to copy that curve and that curve around the circle. Now, it's the same circle as this one, so if I find out how many segments there are, and then divide it by, I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4 there. So I want to repeat that, and if there's 4 segments there, and the total number of segments is 24, that means I need to repeat it by 24 divided by 4. So I need to repeat it 6 times. So I'll grab that curve, and that curve. I really hope this works. Get my rotate tool, click on the center once, then click up here once, tap Control, so I'm making a copy, and then I want to go, look, it snapped perfectly to 60, which is exactly 360. That's the right amount, isn't it? 360 divided by 6. So I'm just going to type in 60 just to make sure. Type in 60, enter, and then times, and I want 5 more copies. 5, enter. And look at that, it worked. So I was pretty lucky in the first go there. I'm going to delete that line, that line, that line, and hopefully I'll be able to fill it after I finish deleting the extra bits that I don't need. I'm hoping that if I simply connect the top there all the way to the bottom there, that it'll fill everything, and it did indeed. And now I need to draw my circle back, and what was it, 11? Oh, we got a bit of a problem. If that's going to fit the bearing in it, it actually needs to be bigger than 11. Not a problem though, because we can grab this and scale it using this button here, scale. And this is a perfect example where I don't want to scale it by touching the end there and doing that, because now it's off center. So what I do instead is I click on that, and then if I'm not mistaken, I hold down Control, and all of a sudden you see the opposite corner turns into the center, and then I can grab it and do that. So just to repeat that again, if I grab, I'll start from scratch. If I grab that and I want to resize it, I can click on Scale, and then if I quickly grab a corner, it's going to scale it, leaving that point fixed or stationary. So basically it'll do that, leaving the bottom left corner stationary. But if I want it to scale around the middle point, the center, I hold down Control, and now it scales it and keeping the middle where it is. Okay, so let's undo that. That's where it was. Let's grab that, hold down Control, and make it a little bit bigger, like that. And we'll see if that's enough, because I'm gonna grab a circle, touch that to the center there, type in 11, enter. It's almost big enough. Let's undo that. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Click Scale, hold down Control, make it a little bit bigger. Now let's draw our circle. 11, enter. Okay. And now I'm going to figure out how I'm going to attach it. So let's just look at this other one for a minute. It's actually going at an angle, which is kind of interesting. So let's do something like that. Let's, instead of have it, my first instinct was to just go something like this, and just touch that, and touch that, and then I was just going to rub these bits out, and that would be the attachment. But that's a bit predictable. So let's do something a bit different. So I'm going to get my curve tool. Again, I'm going to use the 2-point curve. Oh, I suppose I could show you the 3-point curve. It's not hard to use. 3-point curve. And so let's just say I want to start it there. Click. And then I want it to pass through this point. Click. And then I want it to end up there. Click. I don't think I was touching there, so I better zoom in a little bit better. So start there. Go through whatever point here. And then end up, let's just say there. And let's do it again. And again, we want to make sure it's strong enough. So let's look at the original. So it's quite a sizable distance from here to here. So let's make sure we do something similar. Let's go from there. Make it pass through. Ignore the blue curve, because that's not the direction we're going to make it go in. Let's make it pass through here. And a bit of a problem. We'll do this, but then you'll see that the actual distance we've got attaching to the spinner is quite small, and I forgot to make this circle larger to account for the size of the hole of the spinner. So let's undo that. Let's move this up slightly. Make sure you don't go at an angle. I say make sure you don't go at an angle. There's nothing that says you have to have it perfectly vertical, so we could do that if we wanted to. Alright, so let's do that. Now, let's keep it there. Let's move it up a little bit. Let's make a circle so that there's some plastic holding the spinner in. Because remember, this is going to be where the bearing goes. And now let's start with our 3-point curve again. Go there, there, there. And for this one we could go there, there, There. I reckon that's probably strong enough. But if you didn't think it was strong enough, we could always delete this one. And we could always, if we wanted to, maybe have a straight line from here to here. And I can guarantee that would be strong enough now. It's quite chunky looking. And now what we would need to do is basically get everything ready that we want. I could use the rubber here if we wanted to. Like that. Oops. I can always use the arrow tool and do that. Press delete. And I'm going to click on that surface. Remember, if you click on a surface, it will select everything, all the outlines, when I rotate it and copy it. So get the rotate tool, click on the center, which is why I left that little vertical line there. Go up, press Control, and now I think I'm actually going to make 3, so type in 120, enter, times 2, enter. And in hindsight, I'm not really happy with that. So let's make a perfect semicircle. This will be good. 2-point arc. Let's zoom in on that. Let's go from there to there, and then go out until you see it say semicircle. Is it going to do it for me? It's supposed to say it. Well, here's the other way to make a semicircle. That's easy. Grab a circle tool, go like that, and then rub out what you don't want. Please. It's not working very well. I wonder why. So let's... Odd. Let's try the 2-point arc again. Go from there to that point. Oh, I guess we'll have to do it by eye. Oh, there it is. It says half circle, not semicircle. That's what was missing. It says half circle. I think it will only do that if you stay on the horizontal line there. And then you go near it, and then it says half circle. And that's good for me. Okay. Now I could just highlight that half circle, so I don't have to fuss with the other two. Get my rotate tool. Click on the end of that line there, which is the midpoint. Click out anywhere. Type in Control. That makes a copy. Type in 120. Enter X2. And then I get my rubber. Go in there. Go in there. Now I can delete these. I don't need these anymore. I don't need that anymore. And I think you guys know the rest. 3D. Push-pull tool. Up. 7. Enter. Don't forget to triple click it. Oops. Edit. Make group. Material. Let's make this one turquoise. Okay. And now let's go to a top view. And I can delete my reference. And there's that. Okay, so let's have a look at all of them. If I can turn them all back on, I can delete my reference. You don't have to delete your reference, but I'm going to. And now I can actually, I don't really care if they stay on the origin anymore, so I'm literally going to just grab my move tool and click. And, ooh, I didn't want to do that. Let's turn these all back off again and make sure they're grouped. So I'm going to, going to turn this one on and that one off. And make sure this is a group. So edit, make group. Now I can move that there. Now let's make the next layer active. That's a group. Make the next layer visible. That's a group. Excellent. Make this one. What happened to spinner 4? There we go. And spinner 7. Okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you've learned a little bit. I know there's a couple errors along the way during the video, but that's actually good because errors happen all the time, and if they happen in a demonstration, it means I can show you what kind of errors to expect. If you have any problems or you want extra help, just come to my room in W17 at lunchtime, and I'll be happy to help you make your spinners. Okay? See you soon. Bye.